D-backs still very much in the thick of the playoff hunt. And speaking of winning, all year long, 12 Sports and the D-backs are celebrating the 25th anniversary, of course, that 01 World Series team. D-backs legend Randy Johnson joined us on D-backs on Deck over the weekend. The big unit, of course, has fond memories of that championship chase.
There are certain days across the Major League Baseball calendar that just feel a little bit different when you walk into the ballpark. Opening day, Jackie Robinson Day. Today's the 4th of July.
4th of July.
Can you feel the atmosphere that's we're about to experience here today?
Yeah, it's a great vibe for a player to go to the ballpark. I always enjoyed those being day games outside, taking that whole. It's more of a scenic thing, seeing the sky and everything, and it being a day game. But when it's 110 here, you don't have that luxury. But we'll make do. We'll be fine here. But 4th of July is definitely one of those special games that we play.
Yeah, you certainly brought the heat here at the ballpark throughout your time here as a Diamondback. But what do you remember? What feelings come to mind when you just set foot here at Chase Field, formerly known as Bank One Ballpark, of course?
There's still a lot of loyal fans that were here when I was playing, and they're still supporting the team to this day.
Yeah.
And then at the same time, there's a newer generation of fans. More people have moved to Arizona and have started supporting the team. It's a very younger team now, obviously, and things have changed a little bit with the skill set of the players based on the people that have played in the past, and the theories and the coaching. Things have just changed, the rules and some of the nuances of the game.
The ABS system.
But you still, that's one. But you still need to get 3 outs, and you still need to hit the ball and play good defense. So
We're going to talk about the state of the game, the state of this team here with you in just a bit. But you were telling us a little off camera just about your recent travels, and we'll get to all of what that entails. But most recently, up in Seattle for the jersey retirement there, you became the 14th player in MLB history to have your number retired by 2 different organizations. What was that like, just to be able to kind of take in that scene in Seattle and then give an inspired speech as well?
Well, everything really started there. Obviously, I started my professional career in Montreal, but I really playing in Seattle for 10 years and finishing second a couple of times in the Cy Young and winning a Cy Young and then getting some experience in postseason and having success there. Making some all-star games and making a name for myself. I really had the opportunity to go out there every 5th day, win, lose, or draw. I was pretty rough around the edges early on. I pitched well enough at times just to keep people interested enough, but not on a consistent basis. And obviously, as a baseball player or any athlete, you have to be consistent every time you go out there. And I wasn't able to do that. But when in Seattle in '92, had a great conversation with Nolan Ryan and Tom House. That's well documented. Kind of carried what they had talked through the rest of the year and then worked on it during the offseason. And then '93 really catapulted me. And then from that point on, I really made a name for myself in Seattle.
Certainly. And then as a kid growing up here in the Valley in 2001, what this team was able to do, the legacy you left here. We're celebrating 25 years since that World Series run, co-MVP of that World Series. What memories come to mind? We had Schilling on a couple of weeks ago on this show, and he just talked about just the camaraderie and the skill set and how everyone was selfless on that team.
Yeah, they really were. And, it's one thing that everybody always talks about. When you win a World Series, you'll hear the interviews that the players, when they're getting interviewed, all the players were selfless. They were all tried to have everybody else's back, When they didn't get the job done, they knew that someone else would get it done for them.
Sure.
And that's really important because when you can go into the locker room and you have the support of all your teammates, win, lose, and because everybody knows that you want to contribute, and when you're not, there's nothing worse than feeling like you're not, but there's nothing better than feeling like the support of your teammates when you're not helping them.
Yeah.
So it was just a great situation, an unbelievable experience. Played 22 years and only got to one World Series. Some get to more, and some don't even get to one. So to get to one World Series and have a pivotal part in the playing of that World Series, because it's one thing getting there, and you surely don't want to be remembered for, not pitching well or not being the hitter that you were during the year. So I was really pleased that it was a lot of extra pitching. But I iced a little bit more during the offseason.
Yeah, it was a shorter offseason, thankfully, with the ring.
And Randy, you went from throwing 104 pitches the day before the clinching game to then coming out of the bullpen to seal the deal in that World Series. Did you feel like you had to dig deep to find the energy?
Well, it hadn't been done in 25 years. Last year it was done by Yamamoto with the Dodgers, but prior to that it hadn't been done in 25 years. So that goes to show you it doesn't happen that often. And basically he did the exact same thing I did. But after pitching in Game 6, and we had a pretty substantial lead, Bob Brenly asked me if I came out of the game now or if he took me out of the game, would I be available for tomorrow's game? And I said, sure. I didn't think like that. It'd already been a long year, and I thought, well, if you need me, I'll do the best I can, but there's no guarantee. I don't know what you're going to get coming out of the bullpen the next day. So it was just kind of here talking, but sure enough, they used me for an inning and a third or whatever it was.
And turns out they got a pretty good product as well.
Yeah, it all worked out. The All-Star roster is being revealed right now as we speak. Eduardo Rodriguez just named a National League All-Star. Your thoughts on his performance after that WBC win as well?
I may not be coming to a lot of the games, but I am watching a lot of the games. And he really has come into his own. I think playing in the World Baseball Classic elevated his game. Playing for his country, and then brought that to spring training. And I think sometimes you just need to know that there's another level to play at. You might be convinced you're already at that level, but there's always another level to play at. Working harder, striving a little bit more, pushing yourself, and essentially, he is pitching at a different level than he ever has, and he knows that he's pitching at another level, and he's maintaining that, and that's important for a young player, whether you're a hitter or a pitcher, knowing that you can do more. There's no limits unless you put limitations on yourself. You can work harder, and you'll have to work harder in order to push yourself, but striving to be as good as you can be, and that's not something that's easy to obtain.
Randy, we have about a minute of time left with you. You mentioned, before you came on set, the amount of travel that you've been doing lately, and a lot of that is photography inspired. Can you take our viewers through what you've been up to, these past few months and where your trips have taken you to?
Really quickly, the end of last year, November, I literally was face-to-face with rhinos. I was in Kenya, and I was at a massive area where they can guard them from poachers. And so I was fortunate that I was with a couple of the people that run the facility, and they knew my photography. And with supervision, of course, and a couple of other people right next to me, not that they were really going to help when you got 3,000-pound
wild animals. Yes.
But it was an unbelievable experience. I've posted a few pictures on my Instagram, but literally being face-to-face with a rhino, laying on my stomach and taking pictures like that was in November of last year. Then I traveled to Guam in Japan to support our troops earlier this year, and then I traveled up to a place called Burma, and it's up in Myanmar. And I was going to go last year, but they had a massive earthquake, and so I put that off, and I went this year. And it's one of my greatest experiences in photographing people, along with Ethiopia. But I got to go in and photograph young monks in their workplace, praying in temples, and it was just a fascinating place. I just really enjoy You know, there's a lot of parallels to baseball. Being prepared, you know, you have to be prepared here. And then in my photography, knowing where I'm going, know what to expect, the time of year you're going, what are you going there for? Are you prepared with the equipment that you're going to have? And then just trying to execute, having the results that you want. And, you know, it's just those are the parallels. But I just have a blast traveling now and traveling all over the world. I've been very fortunate that I have a coffee table book. I sold 1,000 copies of that. Of my Africa work, a lot of them to the fans here in Arizona. I'm very appreciative of that. And then I've had a few exhibits as well. So it's really taken a lot of my time, but I'm happy to be busy with another passion that I have.
Well, we are so grateful for the time that you spent with us here on D-Backs on Deck. Thank you for everything you've contributed to this team, to this city, whether it's on the mound or behind the lens. You are one of the greatest to probably ever do it.